Hello everyone and welcome to Virtual Racing Project Season 5 Round 2. We are at the Red Bull Ring, as you can see, and well, what a venue. Short venue, 10 turns, it's just 4.3 kilometers long, and well, there's plenty of overtaking opportunities here, 3 DRS zones. But into quali we go first to see who will get that pole position at such a, I want to say iconic venue, but a fun venue for sure. As I'm just going to quickly send the stream link around. Right then, so into quali we go. I think the first car who's on a lap will be Smooth Operator, who rather fittingly is in the Ferrari. His debut in Virtual Racing Project, German driver, getting it in through turn 4. And he will be our first driver to set a lap time, I believe, anyway. 2 purple sectors, that does indicate that he's the first one on track to set a time. Number 7 Ferrari, we've seen that in the past, haven't we? 7th gear, down into the penultimate turn. And then through the last turn as well. Tried to keep within track limits, that's going to catch a few out. Has a time, was the first set of time in fact, but he's then beaten by Smooth Operator by 1.8 seconds. Tizian coming through the last 2 corners. VRT Skiddy then goes to the top by 3/10. And Tizian on his debut puts his car P3. So, 3 debutants at the front. Tizian did compete in our pre-season test, but hasn't raced in an official event as of yet. Darth FIFA, our winner last time out, took the lead on the last lap from Bino. Reserving in the Aston Martin, is now at the top and has put some distance between himself and Bino, who's now in second. Lightning Luke, ex-champion, can he get his car towards the front? It's P4 for now. In that V-carb. Hello Zalba, texting and driving. Well, there's many jokes I can put there, but I will leave you to set your time, and I'll let others come up with jokes for me. Harrison in P2. Haas already off to a decent start in this quali session, with Emil in the debutant reserve putting his car P9. We'll watch Yannick coming through the last 2 corners. Bit of smoke, bit of traffic as well. That'll be Smooth Operator in front of him. Yannick in this similarly numbered car can only go P9. Traffic probably in the way. Pavle is setting up a lap. Omar in the V-carb. We saw his teammate go P5. Omar himself P15 at the moment without a time. P4 with a time. Good time as well. And Avesta is starting a lap just now. We'll ride on board with our Season 2 champion. Through turn 1 we go. Very nicely named after the one and famous Niki Lauda. Turn 2, really not a corner at all. And turn 3, heavy braking zone, the heaviest on track. Avesta taking a lot of the inside curb and then getting quite skittish on the exit. Reserving this week for Williams, last week reserving for the other famous British team on the grid, Aston Martin. Big lock up from Avesta through turn 4. Then turn 5, again a bit of a nothing corner. Turn 6 to the left. Try not to run it out wide, but the understeer can be chronic, as we just seen there. Turn 7 as well. Now turn 8. I don't know if it's lag or if he is really driving on the edge of this car, but it's quite all over the place. Understeer through turn 9 and then turn 10. Don't want to understeer here because you'll invalidate, as we've just seen there. Avesta across the line. It was a 104.1, which would have been good enough to put him at second or third. Either way, an invalid time, so P16 is the best he can do. Zalba and Pavle set times that are not representative. And here is Zalba on a time right now. We just said Pavle, he's up to P7. And P5, Lord Percival. First race this season for our full-time McLaren driver. Zalba trying to make the most of this. He is 26 seconds up on his time, so that's a positive for him. And He's actually on track to actually set not a bad time at all. Through the last 2 corners, Sauber on his 23rd race in VRP, slightly injured. P15, he gets himself up to P12, just outside that top 10 by about 3/10. And then a nice little spin for the cameras, pirouetting it round. Avesta isn't on a lap. Currently, Vaxi is on his first lap of the session. The 2 Mercedes yet to set a time, along with Avesta, former Mercedes driver. Up and down the grid, plenty of reserves. FIFA, the man currently on pole. Emil went under the radar, he's up to P3, he's a reserve as well. VRT Skiddy in the Haas is in for Felper. Pavle in the Aston Martin, along with... oh sorry, he is the only Aston Martin. But he is a reserve as a smooth operator who's in for Charlie. Chocolat in the Red Bull, another reserve. In place for Danitos, and Avesta in the Williams is filling in for Miku. As we've seen Vaxi on his laps so far, he's now got a bit of traffic in the form of either Yannick or Tizian. But through the last 2 corners, this is where it gets hectic for traffic. That's really going to hurt him. We saw Yannick was held up earlier. Vaxi gets himself up to P8, but how much quicker could it have been without the traffic? It was Yannick who was in the way through the last sector, potentially giving a little bit of revenge for what happened to him, even though Vaxi wasn't involved in that incident. But is Yannick on a time now, and he is slightly up, or just under a 10th. The Dutch driver, who's was on a 4-race points scoring streak before last race. A streak that involved a couple of P5s, a P4 and a P6. Was ended last week after post-race penalties took him out of the points. But Yannick currently sat P14, trying to wrestle his car through the last sector now. Last 2 corners, got to be committed, but obviously can't take too much or else the invalidations will start popping in, and it's a double invalidation here of course as well. Smooth operator really stressing his car through the last 2 corners off the track, but the game lets it run and his time's good enough for 10th, so he's up into the top 10. Lightning Luke isn't on a lap. Harrison currently sat P2, but he qualified P4 last race in his debut event. Managed to get his car back to P10, a bit of a recovery drive. He had an incident on lap 1 and a spin later on in the race, but he got a point on his first race. Haas's one and only point, and with their drivers currently 2nd and 8th, they're definitely looking for a better result. As Alba says, yeah, P13, an okay lap for ACL problems. I did mention he's slightly injured, and maybe slightly is a bit of an understatement. But we've seen Harrison set up his lap, and we'll see where he can get his number 15 Haas through turn 1. Takes a lot of the curve, as you kind of need to. Got a bit unsettled on the exit. Herod has got his car to 6th. Zalba 2/10 ahead of Yannick, as he rightfully points out. Harrison's through into turn 4. He's using the curve on both the entry and exit. Then takes the car through to turn 6. Lets it run wide. His time is improving, but not close enough to Darth FIFA, and I think with that, his time may be over. It was purple sector 2, so a very good time there. Very good time from Bino. Just about within a 10th of our current pole man, who's still in the pits. He's feeling comfortable. Chocolat up to P5. In his first race, Herod into the pits again. Lord Purcell has invalidated. VRT Skiddy has also done the same thing. Avesta has invalidated again. As is Fiera Pro. Hazard time is on a lap with that very dirty looking Williams, and maybe that little moment there, and another one shows you just why he's into the gravel. Hazard time struggling in this quali session so far. 2.2 seconds off of Darth FIFA is what he can do so far, and with 7 minutes to go, He's going to need to find some sort of improvement to get himself closer to that top 10. Omar is on a lap. Hot lap engaged. And through the last 2 corners, keeping it on track and to the line. Omar up to P4, top 4 at the moment. He qualified very well last time out and managed to score a P5. And Omar looking to continue some early season form, something Omar has yet to do. I do believe I'm correct in saying that Omar last week was the first time he's ever scored points in round 1. He'll know better than me, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. As currently no one on a lap, but Pavle will correct that. Starting 1 now. P14, his time so far has put him the sole Aston Martin in the session. And it's a purple sector 1. It's 4 tenths up on what he's currently done. 3.5 tenths I should say, but DRS activated. The McLarens will keep out the way, both to not infringe Pavle, but also to not give him any kind of advantage from a slipstream. They're both out the way. Those McLarens sitting P2 and P9. As Pavle has invalidated his time. So that will put an end to his run. One in which did see him have a purple sector 2 at one point. He hasn't really got the battery to go again, although he's going to stay out. His time in the end was a 1:04.2, 6 tenths quicker, which would have put him up in the shout for a top 6 position. He's not going again right now, but he hasn't got the fuel light on, so potentially a bit of recharge and go again is maybe the strategy from him there. Herod, our reigning champion, is out on an outlap and looking to get out of the way of Pavle. Little does he know he's not on a lap, and he got very close to that front of the Mercedes. Herod has driven for Mercedes in every season of Virtual Racing Project so far. His 3rd season. Although he was one of the originals in season 1. Took a break, came back, won the championship, and is back for more. Got a P3 finish in the last race. P2 finish, sorry, I was correct originally. As he's leaving a bigger gap as he can. Pavle in the pits. So Herod has complete green track ahead of him, unless someone comes out of the pits. But starting his lap now, the Spaniard going through turn 1. Herod hasn't qualified higher than P6 since Miami in season 3, which was round 7, where he got pole position. And since that pole, he's been on a blank streak of not getting above P6 in quali, even though he's the champion of last season. Can he beat that right now? He's P7, and wow. I don't think Lightning Luke knew where to go. I don't think Herod knew where to go then. That one potentially dangerous, potentially being reported, but I'm not too sure how much that's affected Herod's time. He is only a 10th up now, so I'm not too sure he's going to be too happy about that one. I must admit, I didn't see too much of it. I was looking at the timing sheet when it happened, but out of my corner of the eye I saw a bit of chaos, and Herod P7, no improvement of his time. Lightning Luke, who was involved in that, now starting his time. We have 2.5 minutes to go, and it's about the time now where we'll see cars flooding out the pit lane. Austria, a track where you can go for a double run, potentially maybe with a cooldown lap in the middle of it, because ERS this game is so pivotal to keep, and with the use of overtake on your hot laps now, burns just that bit more, as Lightning Luke's now going to find Herod in his way on the run down to turn 4. He's giving him a slipstream, so who knows, maybe if those two were working together and it was just a bit mistimed from Luke to get out the way. But by the looks of it, Harold had no ill feelings there, giving a slipstream to his fellow former champion. Where will Luke's time put him? He'll be one of the first to set one of his final lap times. Whether or not Luke will have the time to go again, we will have to see. But all cars out on track other than Emil. Lightning Luke up to P6, a tenth and a half better off this time. Chocolade's on an out lap. Omar is on a lap, not currently improving overly. We'll watch the current pole sitter, Darth FIFA. A lot of chaos on that straight, and he's right up behind another car who I think is on a time lap. That is a time lap car, one of the Hasses. So he's not obliged to get out of the way as the others tried to on the straight. Darth FIFA though, 2.5 tenths. He doesn't need the Hass to get out of the way at the moment. 2 corners to go to consolidate a pole position for Darth FIFA. Started towards the back at China. The reserve has invalidated his time. So no improvement from Darth FIFA. Bino, it opens the door for him. What can he do? The Haas gets out of the way. It was Harrison in the end who was the one in the way. Omar doesn't improve and backs off. Lightning Luke is coming into the pit lane. Lord Percival is on the time and there's about 20 seconds left to go in the session. Chocolat has invalidated his time. Trying to see who is where. Darth FIFA, grip penalty. Contact with Bino. And that sees Darth FIFA and Bino out of the session. And no pole position for Darth FIFA, no pole position for Bino. The checker flag has fallen. Avesta's also out of the session. He won't set a time. He'll start from 19th. Has a time, won't improve. He's way off the track. Yannick will be the second car to take the checkered flag. Big moment for him as well. I'm not sure we're going to see an improvement from Yannick. There's a Mercedes behind him. I believe that may be Vaxi. And it is Vaxi to the line. Where can he put his car? It stays P12. We're not seeing any improvements out there. Lord Percival will be next across the line. There's a Ferrari behind him. Lord Percival, P9, no improvement. It's not a Mill, it's Smooth Operator to the line, but he's invalidated. Aston Martinov Pavle will cross the line next. Another invalidation. VRT Skiddy's invalidated. Harrison has invalidated. And I tell you what, I don't think anyone's going to improve here. Chocolat is on a lap time. Tizian's into the pit lane. The other forward for Mill crossed the line and stays 5th. Invalidation and big crash from Chocolat. So nothing there. Tizian wasn't into the pits, but he is into the wall. And VRT Skiddy has invalidated. Zauber into the pit lane. That is the end of quali. And fairly, I have to say, a bit of an anticlimactic end there. The checker flag fell and not a single driver improved. And 3 or 4 of them crashed out. Well, I didn't see the incident. But clearly Bino on his lap. Darth FIFA finished his lap. And the two have had a collision of some sort, resulting in an early exit for quali for the two of them, and costing Darth FIFA a pole position. It does mean Bino has a second pole position of the season, 100% record of season 5 of pole positions. Darth FIFA will end up 5th. Harrison will share the front row with Bino. And it will be Omar in 3rd, Emil on his first VRP appearance, lining up 4th with Darth FIFA behind him. Darth FIFA, who did look to have the outstanding pace in the session, will have a bit of work to do to try and win this one. Lightning Luke, Chocolat, Herod, Lord Percival, Tizian is your top 10. And your front row is a recreation of what we saw in round 1, if you take away the two that aren't racing. The two Ferraris aren't here, Dylan and Charlie, whereas Bino was on pole last week and Harrison was P4. Get prepared for the formation lap. Dry weather in the Styrian Hills. A lovely place to be, I'm sure. So, formation lap underway, and as we say, Bino is the man who has inherited that pole position. Officially, Darth FIFA is the one who achieved pole, but Bino is the one who will start from there. And Harrison, the man behind him. Omar, the most experienced man in VRP, 36 race starts. Took the lead off that in the last race. Well, he was joint with Harry. He is now overtaken and put some distance between himself and him. For that start, Emil on his debut in the Ferrari before Lightning Luke in 5th place. Darth FIFA P6, so my maths was wrong. He's starting 6th, not 5th. Chocolate 7, Herald 8, Lord Percival in 9th, 1 year on from his debut in League Racing, and Tizian, like I said, on his debut in P10. We'll have a look at tyre strategies. Everyone on the mediums, apart from Harrison, who goes hard, and Skiddy. So the two Hasses, as we've seen in real life plenty of times before, those are the ones to go for a bolder strategy. We will get that up for now as the cars get ready to line up. Top 5 already in there. So the guys at the back we are currently waiting for. Zauber holding up a bit of a train. And spinning into a wall trying to line up on the grid as well. Maybe I shouldn't laugh, but that's quite funny. So we get ready for the start of the race. 5 lights are on, and those 5 lights go out. We are racing in Austria, and it's a great launch from Bino, who instantly gets out ahead with some daylight almost into the back of the Haas. That was Lightning Luke, who then has to escape off the road out wide. The top 4 remain intact. In fact, one of them has dropped down and lost several positions, but it's Bino well out in front as we go too wide there. That's a dive from one of the Red Bulls. Getting past, I think that's Lightning Luke in fact. He's got past on the start. Goes inside of them, the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. There's 3 wide in the back. That's Tizian fighting with Vaxi. Contact, and 2 of them are off. Pavle's off, and so Chocolat. Down the order those guys go. In fact, Darth FIFA involved as well. He's down to P15, so Mayor and Quali getting a grid penalty, and a Mayor for start as well. He's been shuffled right down the order. Bino, the man in front, Harrison and Emil, the top 3. Omar up to 4th, and Lightning Luke in P5. I'm not quite sure what happened at the back, but both Red Bulls jumping into the pit lane, both with damage. A terrible start for that team as there's more contact. I'm not sure what Zauber's doing there. Decided braking into the pit lane maybe wasn't an option and hits his teammate in. It's a virtual safety car. And yeah, the Red Bull team might need a bit of a debrief there. Chocolat, the reserve man, hit into the pit lane by the full-time Red Bull driver, Zauber. Driven for Red Bull in every season. And Zauber feels as if his teammate was the cause of the contact originally, though I'm not sure hitting him into a pit lane was quite the answer. But the VSC is now over. Both Red Bulls hit with a 10-second time penalty. And it's Bino out front, as we saw last race. Harrison in P2 and Emil in P3. And the DRS is activated, so we may start to see some of those DRS trains, some of the swapping for positions start to happen. Avesta up 11 positions, already onto the back of Lord Percival. What a start from the man who started in P19, last on the grid. He's already up to P7 as he gets past Lord Percival. but the DRS will then swap ways and Lord Percival will have the chance to attack back if he isn't attacked himself by Tizian, who's looking to go around the outside. In fact, he was so much later on the brakes that Tizian himself, if he didn't have a moment coming out of turn 3, would have had the opportunity to make the move. Emil at the front has got past Harrison, so it's really close up at the front, as you can see. Omar now looking at Harrison, the man on the hard tyre, maybe starting to lose a bit of time to those in front and those behind. As Bino got a bit wide, but all is sorted. Emil right up the back of him though. The Finnish man all over the back of Bino. Fastest lap being traded by everyone. Lightning Luke, the man who ended up getting it, then quickly taken by Vesta, who's flying up the order and is up the back of Herod. And Emil, having to collect a bit of oversteer, does so and then may get past Bino, who's gonna end up losing the position here. 3-second time penalty to Skiddy, who is Harrison's teammate, who's trying to go around the outside of Bino on the hard tyre. Can't quite do it. Bino gets the better traction, and I think we're in for a very action-packed race. Bino, can he get back at Emil? No, he can't. He's having to defend instead. Harrison stays behind, doesn't go for a dive rather sensibly. The two V-Cubs in a strong position once again, in the positions they finished in China, 4th and 5th. Lightning Luke has never finished a race outside the top 10 in which he has actually taken the checkered flag. He was disqualified from a race in Season 1 in Italy. It's the only race he's ever took part in where he has not scored a point. Avesta got past Herod in the background. He's up to 6th and is on the back of this train, only 7 tenths behind Lightning Luke. At the front, Emil is going to lead a race lap for the first time. Tizian, the next culprit, off a penalty. Smooth operator in the Ferrari as well, off the track and gets a 3-second time penalty. And we're about to see some more passes again once that DRS is opened, which it is, and it's Harrison who's going alongside Bino. And can he get the move done? He's going to the outside yet again. Bino, the man who's going to try and stick it to the inside and try for the traction on the softer tyre. Not happening. Harrison's passed, and Omar right behind Bino. Will we see another overtake here? No. Bino getting shuffled back. The man who started on first position, Pavle and Fiera Pro, the next people to pick up 3-second penalties. Easy to do here, like I said, in quali easy to invalidate, and in a race situation even easier to keep going off and off and off again. Tizian holding up a bit of a train. He did get past Lord Percival eventually, but I think he's struggling to drop him a bit now. As Elwell in the background, smooth operator. Where is he? He's in the gravel, he's not in a wall, so he'll keep it going. Fiera Pro is going to demote him down to P16, but that's a position gain for Vaxu, who's now into the points. At the front, though, is where we should keep our eyes, and it's Harrison, who's on the harder compound, who is in the better situation if you think about strategy. He's making those hard tyres work, unlike some others on the grid currently. Smooth operator Fiera Pro swapping positions at the back, Vaxi and Lord Percival as well. Harrison keeping it sensible, keeping it conservative, and staying behind Emil, who's going to lead several more corners of this track. Zauber's off in the background. Not too sure what's happened to him, as it's Harrison going to the lead of the race, and Vaxi's out. Oh, there's a big crash, safety car. I'm not sure what's happened there, but we did see the big group that he was involved in. He did get past Lord Percival at one point on that straight. I don't see any damage to others. Will correct myself as well. It was Chocolat who was off the track, not Zauber. But the safety car is out for that Vaxi crash, and into the pit lane come the majority of the medium runners. In fact, V-Carb are going to double stack as we're on the 7th lap, and the medium runners are deciding now is the time to put on a set of hard tyres. My guess would be it is for Emil. We'll see if the others follow suit, and that strategy that Harrison looked to be dominating may have suddenly gone away for him. VRT Skiddy, who also started on the hards, is going to jump up positions. Lord Percival, Yannick and Hazard Time all choosing to stay out on their medium tyres, so they may be slow on the restart on those older tyres. But when it comes to what happened to Vaxi on that straight, It's anyone's guess really. We saw the pack he was involved in. Lord Percival and Yannick were in there. I'm not sure if when it came to the DRS they got side by side and maybe he was hit in the side and into a wall, or if it was just pure driving into the back of someone. It's anyone can guess. Trying to be a detective, but I'm barely a commentator, let alone a detective. But lap 7 and Harrison is the man in the lead. Zauber not able to unlap himself. He's 45 seconds behind Chocolat, who's 40 seconds off the pack himself and just out the pit lane on a fresh set of mediums, having just had the hard tyre on. Hey up Ghost, there's a bit of drama here. No, it's Bino flying into the pit lane. So a late call to pit for the McLaren driver. Once in the lead, actually started on pole and began to fall through the field. Is that wing damage? It is. So change of front wing for Bino. Whether that was some of the reason as to why he dropped through the field so quickly, or whether or not he sustained that under safety car and is why he is diving into the pit lane late, is anyone's guess. But he's gone to medium, so a committed 2-stop for Bino, who's gone from medium to medium. Of course now loses all the positions he had and is 16th off 18. Vaxi L1 retirement. Bino, one of the few people to actually have scored a podium here. I say few. We have 6 out of 6. No one has scored a podium twice here before. So P3 in Season 1, which was his only points in Season 1. He had a bit of a quali-only season in that one where he suffered multiple retirements after qualifying very well in all of them, and he'll hope not to have a repeat of that at this track today, as car's going a bit side by side on the safety car. Easy to do. We wait for Chocolat to catch the field. Zauber lapped in the midst of it. We'll try and see which position he's stuck between. Looks like he's between Emil and Avesta for P7-8-ish. Yes, he is. So we'll hope to see him get out of the way for the, those around him. And he'll hope for another safety car to actually unlap himself next time. So, Harrison yet to pit, as is Lord Percival, Yannick and Hazard Time and VRT Skiddy, our top 5. 2 on the hards, 3 on the mediums. Omar 6, Emil 7, Avesta 8, Herod 9, Lightning Luke 10, and Chocolat for the second time this race, this time of his own doing, has sped into the pit lane. 10-second penalty and a set of softs on that Red Bull. I'm not sure the safety car will wait for him this time, but I'm sure he'll catch it. It's only just now coming to turn 4. So Chocolat going aggressive and a committed 2-stop. I guess if he was already on the mediums, he might as well fully go for it on a 2-stop and put soft tyres on. They don't last long, 6 or 7 laps, but we'll see his progress as the safety car will come in, and Chocolat has actually got to make a proper effort to catch this now. Harrison will lead us away. Question is, where do you go here? You don't want to wait to the straight. You got 2 corners to try and lose some cars, but the safety car isn't in yet. It's a very quick restart from Harrison. Still going at about 80 miles an hour as he weaves to try and get some temperature in those old hards compared to the guys behind. 6 laps older, but he's underway. Oh, and he's spun it out of the last corner and into the wall. Wing damage for our once, oh, I say once race leader, literally 1 second ago. Safety car. Is it out? It says it is, but it's not. Yellow flag, sector 3. Lord Percival gets underway as our new race leader. Yannick and Hazard Time behind him. Omar already passed VRT Skiddy, who we saw going off the track. There's Emil going up to try and get past Skiddy as well. Both late braking. No contact between the two of them. Emil's through on him. Yannick and Lord Percival, will they just jostle it out to try and get first position? on this restart. He's going to go around the outside as Yannick. Can he make it happen? Neither driver shuffled off the track, which is good to see, but Lord Percival's the man who has stayed in front. Yannick in P2 and has a time P3. Omar up to P4. Net race lead was past Emil on that restart, and he's right up behind Hazard Time now. Those younger hard tyres looking at the much racier tyre. Lord Percival and Yannick side by side through the last corner. And Yannick off the track. Hazard Time's going to get up to P2, and Omar looking to try and make positions up as well. He's third. Emil following him through as well. And Emil right up the back of Omar. Yannick's still there. There might be a sandwich effect here. No, there's contact though, and Omar is off. Gutting. But the drama's not over just there. Zauber's in the way as a lap car, getting ghosted. Wow, they're side by side the whole way down the field. I'd be surprised if we don't see a yellow flag. Hazard Time, the man in the lead currently. Yannick side by side with a ghosted Zauber and Lightning Luke, who's looking to go all the way around the outside. Can he do it? Zauber's going through as well. Yannick has a moment and loses not one but two and maybe three positions. Harold looking to go down the inside as well, and he does that. Yannick down to fifth. Pavle with a 10-second time penalty. It's all going off. Pavle at the back has had an incident with Chocolat. He's got a 10-second time penalty for track limits. That's 20 seconds for Chocolat all added together. Hazard Time in the lead. Will lead a lap. Lightning Luke in second. And Mills made it up to third place. It's hard to keep up with all the action going on so far. Lord Percival's fallen back to P14, so he's an incident on his own or off his own. Smooth operator with the next time penalty. Oh, take a breather, because it's not going to last very long. Here we go again. There's the two Saubers side by side. Harold is involved. FIFA, remember him? Had the incident on lap 1. Was the man who achieved pole position. Is now up there, and Mills had his incident. Every driver is going to have one at some point in this race as things stand. Chocolat's out the race. He's retired in the pit lane. Pavle's in there as well. Side by side, FIFA with one of the Williams of Vesta. Contact between the two, and they've lost more time together as well. Lightning Luke, Harold, the top two. Hazard Time losing time now on those old medium tyres. The action doesn't stop. It's everywhere you look as Hazard Time has to collect an incident of his own. Zauber, a lap car, is still involved. My voice can't keep up with what's going on. Side by side in the back, Yannick and FIFA. FIFA having to make those positions back up yet again, as is Emil, who's going down the inside as well. Plenty of penalties getting handed out all in one go just there. Avest is going to go side by side with Omar. These two have had incidents on the restart as well. Omar was at one point looking handy to be in the race lead, but Avesta's now getting past him. They're 9th and 10th. Fiera Pro past VRT Skiddy, who's yet to pit, being shuffled right down the order. Avesta getting past Yannick, who's also another one being shuffled down the order. Tizian and Nabino side by side. There was a man spun around as well. I'm not too sure who that was. It might have been Zauber, the lapped man. Maybe a bit of relief for those at the front, not having to deal with the blue flags constantly in the way. But Bino and Tizian scrapping it out for 4th place. And Bino's the one who's come out on top so far. Hazard Time holding on to that 3rd position, but Bino just in the space of one braking zone is right up the back of him. Herod behind Lightning Luke by 7.5 tenths. As Bino is all over the back of Hazard Time now, and this looks like it'll be an easy pass by the time we get to turn 1, if he wants to make it there. I think if he's sensible, he probably does. Bit of overtake, and he's alongside, and that move is probably going to get done as well. Out of the pit lane in the middle of all this. Pavle's coming out as well, so we've got the next lap man. In the midst of the top fight, Tizian is fighting off FIFA. When they come up the hill, which position will they be in? Tizian is the man ahead. FIFA went all the way to the outside, had to back off a little bit. Tizian's past Hazard Time. FIFA and Emil are side by side as well. Bit of contact between the two, banging wheels. They both want their own space. Emil then goes down the inside of Hazard Time. Hazard Time saw him coming. Good racing from the Williams driver. His teammate Avesta is coming through as well. Will he let him through round the outside? I'm not sure Hazard Time has anything he can do without it anyway. Avesta's going through. Omar wants to go through as well. has a time, who was P3 just a lap ago, is now P8 smooth operator with I think his third time penalty of the race. Some drivers out there really struggling with the track limits. It's understandable, it is a track very hard to do so in the midst of a very, very chaotic race so far. Tizian in 4th place. How much longer will he keep that for? Because Emil is looking to get by, and around the outside he wants to go and gets that move done. Tizian, time penalty, had to cut the corner. Darfifa now will be at the back of the Sauber driver. Last race's winner versus the man who's racing for the first time in VRP. Broke a bit late, Emil saw him coming. VRT Skiddy is the next one in the pit lane. His car can go no further, he's out the race. And Darfifa trying to go all the way around the outside. Tizian showing him the door slightly and trying to do so more, but Darfifa's going to have the inside. There's more contact between the two. Banging wheels, they both get away with it. Avesta now up to P6 is the beneficiary of that banging wheels. Omar in P8 just trying to pick up the pieces of what he can after his incident on the restart. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 because that Haas has come back out the pit lane. Emil up the back of Bino. Bino, who's committed to the 2-stop, has got to try and make some ground now on those leaders, but Emil has serious pace in that Ferrari, and he's not one to wait around. Straight on that DRS to get past Bino coming into turn 3. Bino will then get the opportunity to fight him back, but with 8-lap old mediums, I think it's going to be quite hard for him to do so. The traction would already have worn away on that set of tyre, the much superior one as we've seen throughout the race so far. Darfifa behind with Avesta looking to try fill his mirrors. They're side by side. Omar wants to get past Tizian. There's more contact between the two. Tizian trying to force his opponent wide again, but Omar's going to have the inside. Are we going to see more wheel banging between the two here? Yes! Omar catches it. Tizian looking to go around the outside. Omar then sends it and is going to keep the position. For how long though? Tizian's right behind and looking to maybe make a move at turn 9. I'm not sure that's too sensible. He may commit to it though, he will, and there's more contact. Lucky to get away with it. Darfifa's off the track at the last corner. Avesta, I'm not too sure if that's lag or what, but he's up to P5 now, and at the front Herod is going to have this first chance to get past Lightning Luke, and he takes it. New race leader in this one, Spanish man Herod in the race lead. With Emil closing in behind, just over a second behind. The pack is beginning to split. You wouldn't know it from what we've seen so far, but if you look at the track map, that is the case. Smooth operators in for a set of mediums. So he's committed to his 2-stop, and I'm not sure he'll get to the end on those mediums. I think he'll try to. The drivers who stayed out on the safety car are ones to regret it. I believe Lord Percival 10th has a time 11th, who has now pitted onto a set of hard tyres. Yannick followed him in as well, he's 12th. So it's Herod in the lead. Lightning Luke, will he fight him back on this lap? Emil is now within DRS range as well, he'll get it on the next straight. Bino in P4, Darfifa 5th, Omar 6th, so Avesta into the pit lane to retire his car. Answers on a postcard as to why that one may be. Lightning Luke past Herod at turn 3, and Emil is well and truly in this fight as well. Avesta may be involved in something with Darfifa when we saw him off the track, but I'm not too sure what's gone on there. Either way, Herod now looking in his mirrors. He was in the lead at this point last lap. He's now in danger of losing a 3rd place position. And Emil looking to try and win in his first race in VRP. Bino's got some competition behind him as well, and when I say competition, it is really some competition. Darfifa, the man, maybe looking to get a bit of revenge. That group penalty was involving those two. We don't want to see the contact again. Tizian's had connection issue, that's a shame to see. At the front, Herod has kept ahead of Emil. Emil just over a tenth behind Herod. He's gonna get the opportunity to get past. Will he use it on Lightning Luke as well? He's gonna go to the inside. It's gonna be 3 wide. Emil breaks the earliest off the lot and is given a 3-second time penalty going over the curb. Harrison as well with a penalty. Lightning Luke in the lead from Emil, from Herod. So it's changing at the front again, but Emil the one with the time penalty. Just going to have to quickly send an invite to Tizian, who we still had the connection issue. As quick as I can. There is one. But the race lead so far staying in position. Lord Percival and Fiero Pro swapped for about the 5th time this race. Those two are on an island on their own at the moment. And Emil, at the moment, with this kind of pace he's showing, if he can get past Luke on this lap, which I make him favourite to do so, he may be able to break a 3-second advantage. Bino in the background having to defend from Darth FIFA. We won't see the move at turn 1, I don't think, but here we go. Emil to the race lead. Fiero Pro with a time penalty as well. I think that's adding on to more of what we already had. Lightning Luke and Herod both now with the DRS. But it's Emil out front who's going to lead us. His passport will say his finish, but I'm saying he's only just started. First race in VRP, and he's looking on for a race win at the moment if he can fend off those behind. Omar getting past Bino, he wasn't able to fend off those behind. Darth FIFA got past that lap as well, and those mediums are really starting to fall off the pace now. Tizian 6.3 behind and is back in the lobby. Lord Percival and Fiero Pro swapping positions again. That's a dive and a half from Fiero Pro. There's going to be contact and more as well, as I think Fiero Pro was trying to let Lord Percival back through and it's caused wing damage between the two. Fiero Pro got a time penalty for the corner cut. And I think in trying to let back Lord Percival, there's a miscommunication and there's almost been a bit of a brake check. Lord Percival has wing damage. His teammates in the pit lane, I think it won't affect the double stack there. But Emil keeping the race lead. Luke and Herod, he's got 2 champions in his rearview mirror, but he's keeping it cool. He's got that time penalty, of course, but with his pace so far, if he can even get a chance to break the DRS, he'll have the pace to break away. It's Luke going down the inside, and that's yet another move for the race win. Hello Charlie, yes you can come join me in the comment box next week. What a race, I definitely need it, my voice is dying. This has been a race that you cannot stop talking throughout. Changes for position absolutely everywhere, and there is a huge battle so far at P7. It's Yannick Will getting past Fiero Pro, who's then trying to go around the outside and keep a position from Lord Percival, who's been spun round. I don't know if there was contact between the two of those again at this corner, but those two aren't going to be very happy with each other. When they meet in the paddock, they may come to blows. Probably less than what we've seen on track between those two, but that's quite difficult to match. Has a time P8 behind Bino, and they're side by side for the race lead. Emil and Lightning Luke swapping positions yet again. Lock up in the braking zone for the man in the race lead. Luke in second, and Herod rather watching this at the minute. I'm sure he's trying to hope that the two will come together. He hasn't been one to get involved so much so far, but Herod is a very smart racer. Not to say those other two in front of him aren't, but there's a reason Herod is champion. There's a reason, of course, why Lightning Luke was champion in Season 1. This was his first ever race win at this track in Season 1. But he's behind the man who's trying to get his first ever race win, Emil. They are FIFA 2.5 seconds behind this pack now. He's got Omar being dragged along by him. We may eventually see this be a 5-way battle. Pavle, the lap down car, coming into the pit lane. I don't know if that's to retire his car. He's maybe several laps down, in fact. He's a minute behind Zauber, who himself is a minute and a half behind Lord Percival, who's finally come to the pit lane. Bit of hard tyres, probably a wing change as well. Not the race he would have wanted. Not a race Harrison would have wanted, having led the safety car restart, having qualified P2. Spun on the restart, which is just the worst thing you can do, really. And yeah, he's currently found himself in P11. one outside the points. Maybe a spin this week maybe will be too costly than the one last week. Emil has kept the lead this time from Luke. Herod P3. Darfifa made no inroads this lap. And swapping for positions between Yannick and Hazard Time. The two on the same strat, both pitted, hard tyres, 7 laps old and a bit quicker than the rest. Bino is escaping on those hard tyres, having come out of the pits. In the midst of that battle, he's on for a fastest lap as well. But it's the front battle that you cannot take your eyes off. Emil, Luke and Herod, the main protagonists of this part of the race, are not going to swap positions for the second lap in a row, I don't think. Bino, there you go, fastest lap, 106.1. Will go down as the fastest lap, race lap, because last time Austria was on the calendar was a time before we recorded race laps and lap records. Bino, a man who has a few race lap records at certain circuits in VRP. Once again though, these guys keeping Darfifa a consistent pace back. Darfifa has caught by about 3/10 this lap, but the lack of fighting may be a bit tactical now. Maybe take it to the last 3 or 4 laps where we may see the gloves come off a little bit. I mean, as far as Luke's concerned, so long as he can keep Juan Helord behind, Emil has a 3-second time penalty. And so long as the stewards don't remove that, Luke would be the one to win this race. But Luke is very close to the back of Emil this time and will make that move. Herod keeping behind, being sensible. Of course, everyone wants to win a race, but being consistent across the season is what gets you to the top of the standings. Herod, the man who is currently top of the VRP standings, having finished second last week, but second to a reserve in the form of Darfifa, so he is the man in first place in the championship, and as things stand will retain it. Though Lightning Luke in the race lead is in the position everyone wants to be, isn't he? There's a yellow flag in this sector. That's Zauber around for the umpteenth time. Pavle into the pit lane for the umpteenth time. Darfifa now only 1.8 seconds, so he's broken the 2-second margin, and Omar is happily coming along with. You can see those guys ahead coming up the crest. You can see his prey and his teammate out of the pit lane in front of these guys yet again. Emil, will he be able to make the move this time? Inside or outside, or just stay behind? The sensible choice for Emil, who's then potentially going to get a good enough run to make a move or be forced into a move. No, Lightning Luke picks up the DRS from Pavle. Bit of a saving grace for the guy in the V-carb. In fact, Omar has got past Darfifa this lap. A mistake from the man in the Aston Martin, because I'd be surprised that Omar would close that much and then make that much distance between himself and his rival in the Aston Martin. 3-second time penalty for Lord Purcell, just as we saw a fastest lap being set by Harrison, who's now on the medium tyre, P12 currently. So Mill doesn't open his DRS at turn on the run to turn 1, and I think it doesn't take much explaining as to why he wouldn't do that, because now he can get the better run at a better place to overtake at this circuit. Up the hill, turn 2, side by side, up the inside. Lightning Luke's going to fight this one. Around the outside, there was a bit of contact, a bit of tyre smoke, and Mill's the one in front with the DRS advantage. Lightning Luke's not going to give this one up. Yes, he is. He's on non-mix and stays behind. Omar 2 seconds back from this slot. Darfifa almost getting dropped from DRS territory. Fighting behind, Yannick and Hazard Time have been going at a hammer and tongue all race, really. These two fighting for the lower ends of the top 10, but points nonetheless, and Hazard Time is a man who definitely likes to pick up a P10 or more. Off the back of his best ever season of VRP, he was in the Season 1, in Season 2, 3, 4 and now 5. Season 4 was his best, he managed to get 17 19 points and finished 17th. And Yannick looking to get back in the points after a very impressive streak just before that. Herod behind Lightning Luke, who has almost been dropped by Emil for DRS. Luke using the DRS to get back in that second, but briefly there he was outside it. Don't know if he had a very poor exit at turn 2 or what. Sorry, turn 1 or what, but yeah, 7 tenths behind and a bit vulnerable to Herod, who isn't attacking. Will stay behind. 8.5 laps to go. It's Emil, Luke, Herod, the top 3. I mean, that has basically not changed. And Omar dropping a bit further back from the 2 here. Back into the clutches of FIFA, who's looking to pick up a 4th position and try for better. The Gambian versus the Belgian for 4th and 5th. Vicar v Aston Martin. Bino 12.5 seconds behind. Has got past Tizian, who himself has wing damage. We saw a lot of banging wheels between himself and other drivers. I'm not sure if he picked it up then or whether he's had another incident since, but Tizian 7th place. 20 lap old hards. Will he be able to keep himself ahead of Yannick and Hazard time with a penalty, considering Zauber has a puncher and he's out the pit lane on softs. And Darfifa has passed Omar, who hasn't fought that one too heavily. So, time for a bit of a breather there, but the action will continue. Yannick and Hazard time, I'm sure, will maybe have another battle here, but Yannick comfortable enough to save some ERS. Hazard time has saved plenty. He's on now 100% right down to the braking zone. Yannick on just 20. So we know who has the upper hand on that fight when it comes to ERS. Smooth operator into the top 10 now, past Fiero Pro. On those newer tyres, Harrison's charging down the 2 of them as well. Those guys with penalties. I know Smooth operator and Fiero Pro have several of those. We'll have a look now. 12 for Smooth operator, 15 for Fiero Pro. So in the fight for the last point, I think Harrison will quite easily end up with that one if he stays where he is. But Lightning Luke looking to see if he can get back with Emil and maybe take that race lead, unless maybe he's thinking penalty for Emil. He can stay behind. Pavle again, the lap car in the way. Luckily ghosted. It's a great view, this front wing angle. Really shows you the speed and the jeopardy that racing in F1 cars gives you. Through the last 2 corners. Lap car not really becoming an interference for these guys. Omar, time penalty. And that may just put an end to any hopes of a podium he may have had. Pavle's into the pits. I'm interested actually for how many times. That's his 15th stop off the race. I don't know if he's going for a record or what, but 15 stops in 31 laps. He's gone for a pit stop every 2 laps. Albeit, he's on, oh well, I guess he's been on those medium tyres about 3 times now. Keeping the pit crew busy, and I just saw it's actually his 16th stop he's out for just now. Zauber's around again in Sector 1, just after Turn 1. And Fiero Pro with his 18th seconds worth of penalties. Just there. In terms of position gain, 9 loss for Harrison is the biggest loser in terms of currently in the race. 7 gain for Yannick and Hazard time, working their way up the field together. Well, it doesn't look like it because they're battling each other constantly, but 8th and 9th on that same strategy is Herod behind Lightning Luke, who just is currently not wanting to get too involved with the man who has the penalty. Although, no choice now. Emil backing off, using non-ERS, almost catching Herod unaware with how slow he was going up towards turn 3, and Herod is going to make his way past. Herod's first overtake for about 10 or 12 laps. And he's passed Emil, who now drops from first to third. He's run out of ERS a little bit. Very late braking, locked the rears. Lightning Luke, the one with the most ERS, in first place. Harold won with the second most ELS in second place, and Emil in third place. Of course, with the one with the third most ERS. So Zauber out the race now, and that has brought about a safety car. Well, so about a spanner in the works. He's on intermediate tyres. Zauber says he chose the wrong tyres, but well, that's one you can have some conspiracy theories of your own right there. Zauber on inters and safety car brought out. Zauber, Mill almost into the back of Harold there. Zauber saying he crashed into the pit lane, which would make sense as to why his car was in the middle of the straight. If he crashed in the pit lane, he would have been spawned out into the middle of the track. But safety car brought out. Interesting that it spawned his car into the middle of the track, because instead of a crash that can be concealed in the pit lane, they brought it out to bring out a very late safety car, and late safety cars cause not only drama but incidents. So the stewards right now, who were looking to have an early night, will have to get involved, I'm sure. We'll hope incidents don't come out. But these leaders now into the pit lane, as they must do, because those behind have all gone onto their soft tyres. Softs haven't got much love this race, but they're going to get it now. And the leaders, luckily for them, didn't miss the safety car, or didn't miss the pit lane to have a chance, because the safety car came out a bit later than when the leaders went past. But yeah, softs for everyone. Lightning Luke, Harold, Emil. Emil will be gutted here because his 3-second time penalty is going to end up costing him more than just 1 or 2 positions. We'll have a look in terms of his warnings, if he's picked up another one since. Yes, he has, unless that's for contact. But it looks as if Emil's 3-second time penalty is going to remain. And then the only ones that aren't currently on a soft tyre is Smooth Operator, who's now committing to the pit lane right now. But he is a driver who has multiple penalties, so it almost feels as if it's the end of the race now with this for the likes of Smooth Operator, Fiello Pro, Lord Percival. Almost anyone with a penalty there is going to lose positions when it comes to the checker flag, but those with the heavier penalties are going to lose that bit more. Pavle's into the pit lane for what I think is his 45th time. And the safety car's actually in now, because we only have 2 laps to go. So a lot of those who have pitted aren't going to catch that safety car. Smooth Operator, one of them. I think the last car that's going to catch is Yannick. So it gives everyone from P9 a chance at, well, a dream result really. Lightning Luke, Harold, Emil, for so long the established top 3. That can change, and it probably will. Darfifa and Omar behind maybe tried to pick up the pieces. Unfortunately, Emil, Omar, Tizian, all with penalties are the slight caveat there. We're already gone. Lightning Luke off the restart, he goes. He's caught Harold a bit unawares, and there's a Emil behind him. Duffy for Omar, Bino, Tizian has a time, and Yannick the one to keep an eye on. Emil already going for the moves. He's got to do it. He's got that time penalty. He needs to make up the time. Harold having to escape off the road, but Emil is the one in second position on track. Can he make the move on Lightning Luke? Well, he's right up the back of him. He's going to have to do everything he can now to get past and break any kind of ERS advantage he can. He's using the overtake button. Lightning Luke behind. Can he do anything to defend it? We're looking from the back of Lightning Luke's car. Emil's going to go to the inside. Can he pull off the move? He's up the inside. He's forcing his rival towards the curb. Clean racing between the two, and Emil is the one in front. Lightning Luke second, Harold third, Duffy for fourth. No position change further back other than hazard time getting past Tizian for 7th place. He would have had that from penalties regardless, but he's now ahead on track as well. We're moving on to the final lap, and Emil has to pull out a 3-second advantage from this if he's going to win the race. I think at this stage he's just trying to conserve even a top 5 finish. Bino on the back of Omar. The fastest lap now does go to Mill, 105.6. As we come now, DRS on for the first time since the restart. Last lap battles. Who's going to take the lead? Is Herod and Lightning Luke. Lightning Luke's going to the inside. There's contact between the two. He's going to force his way up the inside. A clean move there for the V car, but can he hold on to it? He's got the DRS again. Darth FIFA's got past Herod in the background. Can Darth FIFA now win this race? There's contact in the back. Bino's got front wing damage, but Darth FIFA down the inside of a mill. Move done with a mill off into the gravel. Herod as well. Contact, and they're both off the road. On the last lap, Herod's out of the race, and Mill as well. Lightning Luke, Darth FIFA the top two. Bino with the wing damage. Can he keep it going in the straight line? Omar and Yannick battling as well. Yannick is on for a podium here. If he can go around the outside of Bino, not quite. Bino's trying to do anything he can to defend his podium. Yannick looking to get his first ever podium. It's all frantic now. Through the last corner, Darth FIFA, can he make a move on Lightning Luke at the line? No, he can't. Lightning Luke wins by under a tenth of a second. Chaos in the background. Yannick's through on Bino, who's got the damage. Yannick is on the podium for the first time in VRP. Bino's fourth, has a time in fifth for his best ever result. Omar sixth, Tizian seventh. Harrison will pick up P8 after two cars retired on the last lap. Smooth Operator on track will get ninth in the Ferrari. And I think Lord Percival will be far enough back with penalties himself to not harm Smooth Operator's ninth. Lord Percival will finish in 10th place with Fiera Pro in 11th. And drama on the last lap. Herod and Emil involved in an incident where the two cars became entangled and both were forced off into a wall. But I said late safety cars bring late collisions. And we saw one there. I thought when we got onto the last lap, we may have got away with it. But no, big drama there. Two of the three who were involved in that established top three throughout the race involved in a sizable crash which saw the two's race come to an end. But the race comes to an end with Lightning Luke winning the Austrian Grand Prix. The first repeat winner, the first repeat podium sitter of this race. Along with Darth FIFA, who finished P2 here in his first ever race in VRP. He's repeated that fact. And Yannick with his first ever podium, picking up that P3 when it looked so unlikely. I'd love to see an onboard off his last lap. Obviously Bino picking up wing damage in the background with, I believe it was Omar who was involved with it. And Yannick came through, got past Hazard Time, got past Tizian, got past Omar and managed to get past Bino at the last few corners. I'm sure he absolutely sent it to do everything he could to get there. Darth FIFA got the fastest lap on the last lap, 105.4. So quick from him. But that is your final race results. Several DNFs in that one. And even a set of intermediate tyres which brought about the late controversy. Some may point fingers at Zauber for the cause of the two retirements. But either way, when you're a neutral, you have to say what a great race. Gutting for some the way it ended, but chaos and excitement and good racing throughout that race. That's just what VRP and Austria bring to the mix. Next time we are at Silverstone, another track that will throw up amazing racing. So join us next week, same time, for round 3 of season 5 at Silverstone. Until then, we will see you.